Yo, what is going on, guys? Was just blowing up my toilet. Gloop came out chunky like chocolate when I was looking at my phone and realized that apparently the balance changes are coming out tomorrow as I'm recording this. By the time you see this, it might have already even landed with the maintenance. And I was not told. None of the other creators besides the super creators were told, which I think kind of sucks because it's not what they usually do. They usually tell everybody. So not really sure what happened there. Yet again, more discrimination against us no-coders. But fortunately, we can go over the balance changes that other people have posted and talk through them, signal boost them a little bit, give you guys a rundown on how I think the balance changes are going to actually affect the meta, if at all. You know, right now we've got a lot of brawlers that are kind of stupid, mostly in the form of every buffy brawler with their stupid slow bug, as well as some, you know, a lot of reworked gadget cooldowns on the buffy brawlers are also really low, and the gadgets themselves are also too strong as well. We've also got Pierce, who I think is very strong right now and probably needs to be toned down a lot before his hypercharge even comes out. And also, I think as the maintenance hits, we're also going to get Globert's early access. So there's going to be a lot to cover this weekend. Let's just quickly go through it starting right now. So starting off, let's go with the nerfs first, and then I'll cover the buffs after, because I think the nerfs are going to be a little bit more relevant to actually making the game less annoying to play, a little bit more tolerable with this buffy meta that we are stepping into. Starting with Shelly. So Shelly, first brawler in the game that you get, she has got a pretty reasonable set of buffies in my opinion. Now, I am fairly sure that they're going to be fixing this bug where the slow no longer stacks the way it does. But regardless of that being bugged, where I think like the slow just resets stacks on people the more you hit it, it's kind of weird. Regardless of that though, Shelly's slow strength effect, it originally slows 60%. It's not being cut in half, so now it's going down to a 30% strength slow. And her slow duration on the buffy is also being decreased and cut in half as well. So it's going from whatever the length of the slow is right now, let's cut that in half, and that's how long it'll be. So pretty harsh nerfs. Her gadget overall, like, it's getting nerfed 50% in the slow strength and 50% in the slow duration strength. 30% is a rather interesting slow strength amount too, because I think it actually is going to become more similar to Shade's slow gadget. If you didn't know, Shade has a slow gadget, but it's just useless because its radius is actually microscopic. So you don't actually ever use it in game because you can't use it to like catch up to people. It's just useless. But not only that, the slow effect on Shade's gadget is also like only 20% or something. It's a very low amount of slow. Shelly's slow on this clay pigeons is going to be kind of similar to that now, and I think that means that like the main reason why Shelly is so broken and versatile right now, clay pigeon slow, is actually going to be a lot worse. I don't think you'll be able to really use her anymore on Knockout and Bounty like you used to be able to do, or on super open maps. I think she'll still be good. I don't now know if they've fixed the bug you can do where you can like cycle between attacks with Shelly to kind of like quickly unload between your basic attack and your clay pigeons attack, because the unload speeds for those are like not global and are like different. If they do fix that bug though, and fix the slow stacking bug as well, my guess is honestly her other gadget, the fast forward gadget, might be low-key better. It might genuinely be the better build on Shelly now, especially with, you know, that gadget now giving you like full ammo back and also giving you immunity. I think those are pretty strong effects. We'll see. Shelly probably going to be worse overall in the meta, but at the very least, I don't think she'll be unusable. So if you did spend all your resources on upgrading Shelly, so try switching gadgets and see how that feels for you. Next up with the nerfs, let's talk about M's buffies, okay? M's is demon. She's a monster. She's a criminal. Once saw her burn down an orphanage and kill all of the children and eat them alive. She's a criminal. She's got to be locked up. So her gadgets are both getting nerfed, as well as her star power buffy is getting nerfed as well. So I guess starting off the star power buffy, because that's the biggest and most diabolical part of this whole thing. The immunity on it is going from 1 second to half a second. Nice change. It's being cut in half. The timing on that is going to be a lot tighter now. I think it's actually going to be hard to get value with it, in my opinion. I don't know for a fact. You can't cycle supers with M's. Like, when you use a super, you can't use another one. So it's not like you can spam invulnerability anymore. Or ever. You can't spam invulnerability, and the invulnerability itself lasts half as long. It's actually going to be low-key, maybe not brain dead to use M's with the immunity buffy. Both of your gadgets are also getting nerfed though. The knockback gadget is now getting decreased in its damage. It's going from 1,200 damage to 1,000. Not really the biggest deal. I mean, the damage on the knockback gadget was never like, who cares, right? The range on it is being decreased by 20% as well. I think it'll still be bigger than her base like friend zoner gadget that she had before. It's going to be a lot less forgiving to actually hit someone to knock them back compared to before. Like now maybe with a dashing assassin or some high mobility brawler, you can actually bait NMs into wasting her gadget. It maybe not. It's probably still going to be auto-aim to just hit you at the max distance and push you back, and it's going to be stupid. Notably, also, the actual stun duration on the Buffy is not being changed. If she hits you into a wall with the gadget, that's still going to stun you for a second. The amount that it pushes you back is also, you know, like, it still pushes you back really fast with the Buffy. Like, that's not changed. We'll see. Probably still going to be the better gadget. Ems is probably still going to be pretty versatile. I think she's still going to be good. But the fact that the immunity is being cut enough, I think is actually going to be a much bigger deal than you think it is. Not to mention that her other gadget too, Acid Spray, is also getting nerfed. Acid Spray is now going to take ammo. So right now, it doesn't take any ammo to use. Now it's going to take ammo. I think that's fair. Just kind of keeping it in line with like every other gadget that kind of changes your main attack. So far, it seems, which I guess is really only Shelly. I don't think there's any other brawlers have like a main attack changing gadget yet. So, oh, and Frank. Best build is probably still going to be pushed back with hype, immunity, and everything. But she's just going to be not completely insufferable and probably even a little bit more counterable. Still going to be good though. Still going to be strong. So I wouldn't fret too much if you upgraded them. I think she'll still be very usable. All right, next up with the cringers. Let's talk about Mortis. So Mortis, honestly, I think got off pretty light with the nerfs, but they also went like a very strange direction with the nerfs too. For one, the main nerf that I think I wanted to see was the gadget cooldown on combo spinner is being increased. It's going from 10 seconds to 15 seconds, so that is a 50% increase. A lot of 50s in these balance changes so far. I love this change. I think, honestly, it could have been more. 17 seconds, in my opinion, would have been like a nice spot to just put it there, because low-key, this gadget's being spammed so much, but rather than increasing the cooldown by a lot more, what they ended up doing was they actually nerfed the supercharging on the gadget. The combo spinner gadget no longer charges Mortis' super. Really strange decision. Every gadget that got reworked, I feel like the point was that they can charge super now. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong for that. Like, I understand that it's kind of unfair for these 6 Buffy brawlers to have supercharging gadgets, but I don't know if I love the idea of creating like an inconsistency where a reworked gadget doesn't charge super when a lot of them still do, and like only making a specific 1 or 2 gadgets not charge. It's strange, but it doesn't charge super anymore, so I guess that combined with the cooldown increasing is going to make the combo spinner gadget much less spammy and much less bullshit in terms of giving Mortis free supers, because it still goes through walls and it still does bonus 50% damage when you're below half HP. And those are basically the only changes Mortis got. It's probably fair enough. Mortis's other buffies are not that bad. Like, Coral Snake Buffy is okay. Creepy Harvest Buffy was way overhyped. Nobody uses it. Hypercharge Buffy, rarely see that shit. Even though Mortis charges super for free, it's not. He still doesn't like. You know, it's okay. It doesn't do the most. Yeah, I think I'll be interested to see how the preferred gadget on Mortis changes after the balance changes, because I low-key really like the Bats gadget on Mortis. I think it's really fun to play with. Cooldown is just for some reason as long or longer than Lily Vanish when it's not even as good, and the actual speed of the Mortis Bats dash is just not that. It's just way too slow, and also the hitbox is really thin, so it's hard to hit as well. I don't know why they gutted the fuck out of this Bats gadget before it ever even had a chance to shine when it's like a completely new reworked gadget that they added to the game. It's really strange decisions, but I guess Adrian's just a master of baiting. He's a master rage baiter of all time, I guess. I don't know. Either way, Mortis is definitely going to be a lot more manageable. He's going to be farming less supers and hypercharged supers. I think same thing with Ems. Like, he's definitely going to be worse and probably more counterable. Is he going to be broken? I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be unusable either. I think he's just going to be strong. We'll see though. We'll see. Because right now Mortis is like doing way too much. Mortis is honestly about as much of a criminal as Ems at the highlighter, honestly. And then I guess moving on, let's finish out the Buffy brawlers first. I want to talk about Spike. So Spike is honestly a weird case where he actually got like buffed and nerfed when he got the buffies, because the curveball buffy for one makes the spikes actually easier to dodge. If you didn't know, they are actually easy to dodge when you have curveball buffy. So if you're in one of the rare cases where you unlocked every buffy on Spike except for the star power buffy, stop getting more buffies, okay? And you really want to play Spike, don't get any more buffies, because honestly Spike is better without the star power buffy. It is just more bullshit to try to dodge his shots. And its synergy is better with the hypercharge buffy too. Not to mention also that Spike's fertilize rework has just made the super and the star power worse. So yeah, basically Spike is in that weird spot where like he kind of got nerfed with the buffies, but also got some obviously pretty strong gadgets that kind of canceled it all out. Mainly the life plant, way too low of cooldown, does so much. Popping pincushion just does too much damage, and they addressed both. So popping pincushion, this gadget It now also, similar to Mortis's gadget, no longer charges super. So you won't get any supercharge off of popping someone up close and like getting 3/4 of your supercharge from one-shotting them. The damage is also being decreased from 1200 per spike to 1000, so it's going to go from dealing a maximum of 6000 damage up close to 5000. It's a little less than a 20% nerf. I don't know if this is going to make the gadget that much worse, because honestly, the thing about the Spike's Pincushion gadget is that you pop someone up close and you probably throw through 2 or 3 shots out while you're gadgeting to like one-shot them. So Spike is still going to deal like 12,000 damage with this gadget still, functionally, in my opinion. But I think it no longer charging super is a nice change, and low-key Spike's gadget, popping Pincushion, the gadget cooldown is 17 seconds. It feels long enough to where like you don't ever see it being spammed that much, but it's just that the actual effect when you do have it is so strong it basically shuts down any options. Maybe now it'll be a little bit less insufferable, but it still has the root effect for 1 second and everything. I don't know. Spike is still going to be good with this gadget, but especially dealing with like certain aggro brawlers. But Spike might be a little bit worse now in like knockout and bounty because his life plant gadget, his kind of main bread and butter that he can just spam to take space like a smoke bomb and like completely air out a lane, you know, cover his teammates, heal himself, knock back aggro brawlers. This life plant gadget just does too much right now. It even reveals bushes as well. Now it's getting its cooldown increase from 14 seconds to 18 seconds, which is a pretty nice change. What I kind of wanted to see though was them address the fact that Spike can get his gadget off cooldown while the cactus is still up. I think that's a little bit bullshit. I understand maybe that's like, you know, kind of awkward to change. As it is now, the really annoying thing about Spike with the low-ass 14-second gadget cooldown was that you can throw a cactus out and then wait in like, you know, 14 seconds, you get your cactus back, and the first one might not even be broken by then. And so you basically just can spam cactus. As soon as that one breaks, you can just put another one down instantly. And I think that's like really bullshit and stupid, because it basically means that there's not really any downtime between Spike's cactuses anymore. You can kind of stack the cooldown with the actual active use of the gadget itself. The cooldown is being increased, but I think that issue is still low-key going to be there. So I don't know if the cactus gadget is going to be that much worse, but you know, we'll see. I mean, a +4 second on a gadget cooldown is still it's a decent amount of time. I don't know. This one, I think we're going to have to wait and see how it feels, but hopefully Spike is not like priority picked on bounty and knockout anymore, because it's honestly very stupid that a tank counter is able to hang with snipers. If they want to nerf his damage and like buff his HP a little bit or something to make him more of a support brawler, I'm fine with that, but they gotta make a choice, because right now this is kind of insufferable. Probably should maybe think about changing how fertilize works too, because I think a lot of people are really upset about the fertilize changes as well. But maybe an unnecessary change that just hurts a lot of people who enjoyed that playstyle. All right, moving on. Next, buffied brawler. More of a minor change, but also kind of a massive change. It's another 50% nerf to a buffy. We've got Colt's Speed Loader gadget. This one fires 2 projectiles that slows enemies, and then the buffy makes it so each projectile that it fires of the 2 steals an ammo. Well, now it's not going to steal 1 full ammo, it's going to steal only half an ammo. So now this gadget, if you hit both projectiles, is only going to steal 1 ammo instead of 2. Pretty sizable nerf. I mean, 50% is quite big. And I think it's going to mean that Colt is no longer going to be as good of like a tank counter that he was low-key. This gadget with the ammo suck basically made Colt like counter a lot of assassins, because they would dive on him, he would usually live at least 1 hit, and then suck them off dry, completely milk them down to the bone, and then he has all his ammo and just like 2 shots them while they have no ammo and they are fucked. And slowed, by the way. So that's now not going to be, it's going to be half as effective. So that's going to be a pretty solid nerf. Not to mention that the speedloader gadget is actually very easy to auto aim and hit, because the projectile speed of the gadget is so fast. Like you can sometimes auto aim it from like max range and still hit it, and hit both of them too, which is pretty stupid. And because it has like a longer range than even his basic attack does. But now that's all nerfed, and maybe Colt is going to be a little more counterable. The thing is, his star power buffy that gives him bonus movement speed when he's attacking is unnerfed. I always felt like the speed you get from that is kind of insane, because like it activates even when you hit your super. So you can just hit any like lick of damage. If you hit 1 bullet, you get a pretty sizable movement speed buff that you can then use to then more easily hit the rest of your bullets in the same attack, right? It's like, if you feel like Colts are just shredding right now, or if you're playing Colt with buffies and you feel like you're shredding a lot more than before, it's because it's more forgiving to play Colt, because his just has so much movement speed, and so it's really easy to hit your shots now. I think maybe they could look at like nerfing this too, like nerfing the movement speed a little bit, you know, or maybe making like the movement speed stacking in effect. So like the more bullets you hit in the same attack or super, you get more movement speed. Because right now it feels a lot like, you know, especially with Colt's low-ass reload speed too. He has a very fast reload speed. Feels like facing a Colt is just a bunch of bullet spam into he gets faster than max and then runs you down and kills you. Even without the ammo suck gadget, I think he'll still be able to do that against a lot of the mid-range brawlers, which might be annoying, but we'll see how he feels now that he doesn't completely empties your ammo out with his goated throat game. All right, and then for the last buffied brawler that we're going to cover, Frank obviously is not going to dodge any of the buffied, nerfs, but the star power buffy is actually not being nerfed at all, I think. Yeah, it doesn't look like the star power buffy is being nerfed at all. It's really just his gadgets. Interesting choice. I personally feel like 5,000 healing for 1 kill is a little bit obscene for his power grab star power, especially against mid-ladder players. And Sponge, giving you 50% damage reduction, is kind of obscene when you pair it with a healer like Byron. But I guess those are just not that big of a deal. Because Adrian is like, ah, yes, Frank, chef's kiss. That is my balancing masterpiece. That is a masterclass in balanced brawler design. So yeah, instead of nerfing these star power buffies, instead decided to nerf Frank's gadgets, which is fair enough. Specifically, the irresistible attraction gadget is getting nerfed from its pull slow effect. It's going from 5 seconds to 2 seconds. Really nice change. The slow is really strong. It feels like a fucking root, to be honest. And it lasts 5 seconds right now, which is just so bullshit. Duration is being decreased by more than half. So that's nice, but the slow effect is not being nerfed. It's still going to slow you for as strong as it does. It's just going to last a much shorter time. We'll have to see how this feels. Frank's gadget has longer range and, in theory can allow him to work even on a lot of bounty and knockout maps, because if he hits it, then it's just a kill on you. But low-key, I've seen a lot of Franks being picked that they're just bad, okay, frankly speaking. The gadget is actually kind of hard to hit for a lot of people because the timing is very specific and it changes based on how much HP he has too. So maybe a little bit, not as brain dead as you might think at long range. Close range, probably super easy. As long as you're on low HP too, you just auto-aim that shit. But now you won't be slowed for as long. Maybe it'll be not so bad. We'll see how it feels to play against Franks, but I'm scared because the star power buffies aren't nerfed, and this is the only change to the gadget that's a nerf that I think is just... He's still gonna be like insanely strong, I think. Especially on Hot Zone and Brawl Ball and whatnot. Kind of, I guess, spoiling this a little early, but I guess since we're talking Frank, might as well just mention this too. Frank's other gadget is actually getting buffed. So the immunity to crowd control is going from 2.5 to 3.5 seconds. Right now, I believe if you use the gadget, the timing on it is really tight to make sure you can actually cover your full super with the gadget like you used to be able to do in the past, because you can no longer activate the gadget while supering. Instead of giving you back that functionality of letting you use the gadget while attacking or supering, they instead decided to just make the CC immunity last longer, which is a decision. I don't know. I mean, I've talked about this before where I really think Frank, when you auto-aim this gadget, it should just apply the CC immunity like it used to, without shooting a projectile. I just think that makes sense. I don't know why it has to... I know why it can't be used while he's attacking or supering, but I just think that they really could have made that a little bit better. I don't know. Either way, he's going to be probably fine. I don't think noise canceling is going to be a better gadget regardless. Like nothing is actually changing in terms of like which gadget is used for what situation. You probably still use irresistible attraction in everywhere and noise canceling into specific matchups. But now I guess Frank is, going to be less insufferable when he uses his irresistible attraction gadget everywhere. So yeah, those are the Frank changes. And let's go ahead and finish out these nerfs really quick. We've got a nerf to Pierce. Legendary sniper, hella broken, you know the drill. Low-key pisses in his gun that he uses to shoot at children. But, he's a policeman, investigated himself, found to do no wrong. I'm sure Pierce is an upstanding moral agent and can be trusted to protect the public. His gadget is going to get increased in 3 seconds. So specifically, the bottomless mags gadget is being increased in its cooldown by 3 seconds. It looks like You Only Brawl Twice, which shares the same 13-second cooldown, is not being nerfed at all, which I think is kind of crazy because this gadget is what makes Pierce so versatile. You can use him into any aggro brawler because you basically have a fucking meeple-sized knockback circle that is on a 13-second cooldown, and you don't have to wait for your ammo to be on the ground to use it. You can use it even when there's no ammo on the ground. You just don't get a shield. I think this gadget is actually crazy. The fact that they are only nerfing bottomless mags is really curious. Bottomless mags I think does deserve a nerf, though, to be fair. Both of his gadgets do. But yeah, this bottomless mags gadget lets you just farm free yellow shots and just pee on people more often. 3k shots, slow, on attack, really, really broken. Pierce getting this nerf makes a lot of sense, but like this nerf is doing nothing, and I can't believe this is the only nerf. Adrian, what are we doing? Like, Pierce is still going to be obscenely broken. Like, now is a great time to upgrade Pierce if you want to. I have been holding off because, you know, like on my free-to-play account, because I was worried that he's just going to get nerfed to the ground and become not that great. But now he's still broken, and he still doesn't have a hypercharge. So especially if you're trying to spend your gems in an efficient way that gives you a lot more coin value per gem, you know, that 79 gem offers are going to be looking real juicy when he gets his hyper in like the next update probably. So Pierce, really broken, still going to be broken. Probably best brawler in the game now after these nerfs. Play Pierce or ban him. Just 2 more nerfs left really quick. We'll dish them out fast. Mina's getting nerfed. You know, the brawler that is just getting nerf after nerf, and she's still way too strong. Unbelievable. Windmill gadget that creates a wall of wind for 3 seconds is getting nerfed from 3 seconds to 2. It's not going to be lasting as long. A fair enough nerf. It already has a 22-second cooldown. Can you believe this shit had like a 13-second cooldown on release or something? I don't even... Yeah, it's actually crazy. Yeah. Now this gadget's not going to be doing as much. Probably for the best. I think, unironically, Mina's still going to be good though. Like, she's still going to be good. High mobility, high CC effect, high CC with the super, you know, high enough damage. Like, and she still has this gadget that still beats projectiles. You just might have to time it a little bit better and won't be able to sit inside the circle for as long, but it's just like it's still going to be obscene what she does. Yeah, I think if you play a lot of Mina, still worth playing. Don't get it twisted. And you can always switch to the other gadget too if you really want to, right? The one that gives you a second super for free if you hit the first one. Yeah, she's going to be still hella strong. And then for the final nerf, we have got Kay's. So she recently got an HP buff that made her geisha form have 8200 health while her ninja form still is stuck on the old 8000 for whatever reason, because they didn't take into account alternate forms when they buffed HP globally. And so in order to make the HP the same, they decided, you know what, let's just nerf Kay's geisha form instead of buffing the ninja form up. I'm being a little cheeky. That's not, I don't think that's the reason. Kay's is probably honestly too strong right now. She is being used a lot on heist. A lot of people think Kay's fell off, but because I guess, you know, the people are using only like buffy brawlers right now and they don't realize Kay's is actually still fucking insanely good on heist and everything. And gem grab, I played her in a video, you can check that out. She's actually like still really good, even with the hypercharge nerfs and the dash speed getting nerfed. She's still fucking crazy. Like guys, this brawler still fucks. I think this HP nerf will tone her down. It's gonna make her healing gadget is actually gonna be a little bit less healy now because her max HP is lower for one, and also she's not getting like 200 plus bonus HP to her max HP right after she switches forms too. So yeah, I think Kay's won't be like actually like too amazing after this changes, but she'll still be very playable and very strong. So I don't know, if you like playing Kay's, I wouldn't fret too much, but she's just going to be a little bit weaker now, and the heal gadget setup is probably going to be a little bit worse compared to before. And that just about wraps up every nerf. Now we have the next half of this vid to go over, which is all the buffs. We already talked about Frank's gadget getting buffed. Let's start off with a fun one. Edgar is getting a buff in his HP. So at max level, he's going to go from 7200 HP to 7400. I guess mid-ladder and like noobs are gonna be crying because their most hated brawler is now getting a fucking HP buff of all things. But in terms of viability at the high end, I don't know if this actually changes. Pit stop is in the ranked pool now, the heist map that actually Edgar has historically always been really great on. So maybe now Edgar can be picked there more? Yeah, I don't know. It's Edgar, man. I don't know. Fun to play him on Assassin's Only Day, though. But I don't think he's actually going to be, like, that amazing most of the time. Next brawler that is getting a buff, you've got Lumi. Her unload speed is actually being increased by 5%. So this is in contrast to way back when she got a 9% unload speed nerf. Now that's being increased by 5%, which it's canceling out a little more than half of the nerf that she got. So now in theory, she's gonna be like much stronger because that unload speed nerf was the main thing that did her in kind of in terms of like falling off in viability. But that being said, she also got a really substantial HP buff, like a 12% HP buff in the past balance change when everyone got their global HP buff. So honestly, Lumi might be very valid now. I think she's actually going to be really solid. I've always thought, I played Lumi in ranked before testing out her HP changes, and unironically I thought she was actually still good then, even with the 9% unload speed nerf she got, without this unload speed buff that she's about to get. She actually has a good matchup into Frank, who is being left mostly alone in terms of his buffies and like sheer survivability, and Lumi does really good into most brawlers that don't have a lot of mobility and don't have a lot of range. So any tank that has like that doesn't have a dash, Lumi just shreds them. And I think Lumi is actually going to be very, very solid. Also just good into M's, in my opinion. And now might even do good into Shelly without her clay pigeons like sniping Lumi from across the map. In my opinion, does good into Spike too, because if you can dodge curveball spikes, then she can pierce Spike Cactus and like still fuck up Spike. Like, I honestly think Lumi is actually low-key good into a lot of the buffy brawlers and has a decent place in the meta, I think, into countering M's while also countering a lot of slow tanks as well. You might, I don't know, if you like playing Lumi, you might want to try choosing this brawler a little bit more and seeing how she feels. Another brawler that's gotten nerfed and is still probably maybe a little bit better than she should be, but she's fun, so, you know, I think she gets the pass, and she's hot. Next buff, Griff, getting a 200 HP buff at max level, going from 7200 to 7400. I believe this does, in fact, maybe buff his healing star power a little bit, because that buffs missing HP, and if he's missing more of his HP because he has higher max HP, then he's going to be healing more per tick. But I don't know if this is like the most impactful change. I'm willing to test it, but on a 200 HP buff on a brawler like Griff is just like, you know, like, I guess. I feel like Griff's biggest problem is just that, like, he feels a little bit one note, I guess. It's like he's just a tank counter. Like, he has wall break, but the wall break is not going to be useful on like open maps. And on close range maps, you could always go Shelly, so it's, or Spike, right? So it's always kind of like, or M's. So it's always kind of like, is this worth it? And now actually Colt as well. But maybe not Colt anymore because the ammo steal got nerfed. Maybe combined with like all the other tank counters that kind of outshined Griff in the meta, now that they've all gotten nerfed, maybe Griff will be a little bit better as a pick, but I'm skeptical on this one. Which then brings us to an actually interesting balance change. Really interesting. So Rico is getting his, a lot of sources online will say fire rate increased. He's actually getting an additional projectile on his basic attack, and the duration that he's shooting for is staying the same. So that means that the time in between each projectile is going down, and he's getting an additional projectile added to his attack. So he's not going to shoot 5 times 640 bullets anymore. He's going to shoot 6 times 640 damage bullets, which is functionally a potential damage increase, a DPS increase, right? Well, it is definitely a DPS increase, but it's also like a total potential damage increase as well, because, well, you know, now he's shooting more. I think Rico has potential. Right now, there's not a lot of maps where it feels like Rico can really shine. Even though a lot of maps do have walls, it always feels like Rico just kind of gets shit on, because he, you know, his burst damage has always just been like pretty bad. He can hold down a lane a lot with like sustained spammy attacks, but I don't know, Rico just hasn't had that sauce for a while. I think ever since they nerfed his like bouncy ball gadgets by a lot, because I used to like basically one-shot a lot of assassins and prevent anyone from approaching him, but now I think people have kind of learned how to counter him a little bit. You can go throwers, you can go certain assassins still, you can go wall break, and he's kind of gotten his role also competed out by a lot of other tank counters, like I said, that just kind of outshine him in his role in terms of like, you know, putting out high damage. We'll see how this affects Rico's place in the meta. Like, even if it doesn't change his role too much in terms of like being better on maps with lots of walls, or they probably will. I could also see Rico maybe being used more in more open situations, because like now that the actual projectile, like the distance between them is being shortened up, right? It's kind of like Colt's hypercharge, right? Like that makes a lot of the projectiles easier to hit because they're clumped together a little bit more. I could see maybe Robo Retreat Rico on like a more open map being a little bit better now. I don't know, it'll be interesting to try it. Rico, fun brawler, very insufferable to play against. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. In the worst case though, I don't think Rico's going to be that insufferable anyways, because of a recently new addition to the game, Gigi, who counters a lot of multi-shot brawlers and probably will counter Griff and Rico if they both actually become good. Gigi has actually been a sneaky pocket pick in ranked for me, where she's just like super good, and you can use her in a lot of situations to just counter a lot of stuff. She's not that counterable because a lot of the tank counters that you use to counter assassins all have multi-shots. Like their shots all have multiple projectiles, and so it just feeds Gigi a lot of super, a lot of hypercharge, and she can one-shot people a lot. Gigi's fun. Little high risk, high reward, because if you fuck up one dive, then you kind of throw the whole game. But, you know, that's how assassins are. She's getting a damage buff by a little less than 10%, but like maybe 9%. Still really solid. Her attack is going from dealing 1100 damage per tick to 1200 damage per tick. I don't know if Gigi really needed this. She didn't need this. No, actually, no, yeah, she definitely didn't need this. I think Gigi was fine before. I don't know why they need to buff her, but yeah, she's buffed now. So now she's going to be pretty good. She's a weird brawler where she doesn't have like an exact draft context, or like it's not a very clear draft context. It's unlike any other assassin in the game. She's a very unique brawler. So if you do learn her and like playing her a lot, then I think, I don't know, you might have a really good time. Worth checking out. All right, next buff. This one's actually kind of massive. Probably bigger than Ninja's low taper fade meme. Poco is getting his charge rate increased. So his super is now going from 5 hits to charge super to 4 hits. Which means that Poco is going to be spamming heals a lot more often. And especially if he's hitting like multiple targets at once. Like, you know, if he's hitting 2 players at once, before you need to hit at least 3 shots against 2 players to get super. Now it's only going to be 2 shots against 2 players? Kind of insane. I don't know. Not to mention that his damage dealing star power, that like when he makes his super deal damage, like that does 1500 damage. That's not a small amount of damage. And then if Poco is actually able to spam supers more often, and he's able to fire off this 1500 damaging super that goes through walls and is undodgeable and has a pretty fast projectile speed and good range, Bjorus might actually be a menace on like hot zone and stuff. Probably not gem grab. He's still... I don't know. Actually, I don't know. The thing is, like, Poco's supercharging is really weird because his super both is a source of damage and a healing option. So if an assassin dives on him and he gets super a hit faster, which in Poco's case is pretty good because his reload speed is so slow, like, he might actually be hard to kill and scary to face. Which, you know, I hate playing Poco, and I hate playing against Poco, and I don't know if I like this. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, don't sleep on the Poco pick. This shit might be insufferable. Especially, oh my god, imagine pairing Poco with Frank, dude, it's over. Oh no. You can't even counter with Lu because Poco has cleanse. Oh my god, that's fucked. No, that's... What are they doing? Adrian Y. Alright, next, speaking of Adrian Y, Fang is getting his Divine Soul Star power. The damage that it reduces going from 720 to 900. This actually is sneakily pretty good. I just don't know if it'll be better than the instant supercharge star power that gives you your super back when you kill someone with it, because like Fang's main use case is in hot zone, that one map where it's super open, where you can go like last pick Fang and just fuck people there. Bounty and knockout, not really used at all. Gem grab, brawl ball, any other map, he just doesn't really have, like, there's too many walls, and so he doesn't really have that kind of open area to just like chain supers like that. So he's really only used in hot zone. In hot zone, he's like, you kind of need that star power to cycle supers. That's kind of the main point. Picking Fang there. And in terms of like picking him in non-hot zone on like maps with more walls, like maybe Divine Souls could be more useful there, but still, I don't know. This is another thing where like I'd be interested to test it, but we'll see. Like Fang does need the help. He's basically terrible right now, in my opinion. Maybe with this it'll be better, but if you go the star power where you charge a super back instantly, then you're not going to feel a buff, so it's still going to be like the same unbuffed Fang. Right? That's kind of what happens when you buff just one star power, one gadget. Like the other one, like if it's still not good enough to take over the original build that you use on Fang, or the more common build that you use on Fang, it's basically a functional non-buff. There's just nothing that actually has changed. So we'll see how Fang feels, but my guess is, I don't know if much is going to be different. Might still be ass. I guess coming down to the last buff, technically. You know what? Let's talk about Bonnie and Mo. I think we can lump those together. So, I talked about global HP buffs, and Brawlers got their HP changed, but Brawlers with multiple forms didn't get the HP change for some reason. And so, if you look at like Mo's drill form, for example, it has 6,800 health, while default Mo has 7,200. So, Brawlers is going back to buffing up the alternate forms, but for whatever reason, in Mo's case, they decided to buff his HP on the drill form to only 7,000, which is still 200 less than his default form. I don't know why they did that. That's what I'm reading. There's no reason for one to be different, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why is his rat form have more HP than the drill form? If anything, it should be the other way around. That's very strange. Bonnie is at least also getting the HP buff. She's getting her baby form buff to 6,200 health, which I think more or less lines up with the HP buff that she got in cannon form as well. I think it was like plus 200 or something, so yeah. I guess that's fine, but strange, I guess, that it's weird for Mo and different for Mo. Not that, you know, I don't think in Bonnie's case it's gonna matter, because Bonnie, her supercharge rate is just so shit right now. It's been gutted to hell. She is so bad. Do not pick Bonnie, please. This brother fucking sucks. Mo is a different story. Mo, I mean, maybe it'll be a little bit better, but it's an HP buff like it's kind of like Fang's case, where it's like a buff to one star power, like a buff to one form that is specifically on the super form that is not meant to last long to begin with. I don't know if Mo's gonna be that different, but at least now it's a little bit more close to consistency, even though it's not fully consistent, because I don't know why whatever. So those are the changes. And then for the last change, we have got a buff to Trunk. His movement speed when he's standing on ants is going from plus 20% to plus 25%, which is actually kind of like really strong. It's a 25% buff to the movement speed buff. Trunk was already kind of good. I don't know if he needed a buff. He's kind of like in this similar case with Gigi, where it's like he's a very draft specific brawler, but when you can pick him in the right context, like, man, Trunk is deadly and he is very scary. I don't know if he needed this. Interesting choice. Trunk is gonna be better. Probably maybe even too strong. I don't know, we'll see how if he feels, but I think Trunk is gonna be very good. So yeah, those are the balance changes. Overall, I think Frank and Pierce got off really scot-free in terms of nerfs. They really could have gotten nerfed more. Spike got nerfed. I'd say it's acceptable, but maybe hesitant because the life cactus might still be just like way too good. It kind of reminds me of like Lumi's slow ice gadget, where it's like he might just always have it on the because it's, you know, while it's being activated, the cooldown is running too concurrently. I don't know. Every other Buffy brawler though gonna be worse and probably more counterable and manageable and tolerable, which is great. And weird buffs to Gigi and Trunk. I think maybe deserved buffs to Lumi and Rico. And those are the main things to look out for, I guess, is just try out Rico. Oh, and Poco, I guess. Try out Rico, Poco, Gigi, Trunk. Those might be pretty solid now compared to before. And Pierce and Frank are still probably broken, but all the other Buffies are probably more manageable. That's gonna be for me. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Globert, our first incel chud brawler. Finally, us LTMs, I think is the term is called, will finally get the representation that we need. I'm a LARPer, I don't know what I'm saying. See you guys, take care, bye, peace, mwah.